The Garmin Fenix 6S Pro, as well as the Forerunner 255S Music, are both watches I had, and both watches that are comparably small and light from Garmin. In addition, this comes in around 350 euros, and this refurbished comes in at around 319 euros. For this reason, a comparison here makes sense. So what I have noticed is that the 6S Pro has a bigger display, and it also looks more pro. Now, it also has a card functionality, so map functionality. This means you can download cards onto the watch itself and then navigate with the watch itself. Then this has a standard 20mm quick release strap, whereas the 255 does only have an 18mm release strap. For me this is important because I also have the same strap 20mm on my Galaxy Watch 4 on the other wrist. This has way more storage compared to the Forerunner 255 that only has 4 GB of total storage. I'm not entirely sure how much this has because there have been various sources, but I think it's 16 GB. Also, looking in the Garmin app, this seems to kind of vary how much is displayed as storage. The 255S in comparison is a lighter, it's thinner. So if we take this watch off here, and then this is a little bit thicker. Also, parts of it are made of metal, whereas the 255 is completely made out of plastic, which makes it in total lighter. But the display on the 255 is also a little bit smaller. For this reason, if you wanna take this and use it as a watch, as I do here, then maybe a bigger display means that you are nudged into paying more attention to your time. There are a few software features that are new on the 255 because it's from the 2022 lineup, and the Fenix 6S Pro is from the 2019 lineup. Such as, so on the hardware side, we also have a Gen 3 sensor on the 6S Pro and a Gen 4 sensor on the 255, as well as the other watches like the Fenix 7. One of the consequences of having the older sensor in here is that I noticed I cannot measure my VO2 max without a heart rate strap, where this seems to be possible on the newer lineup such as the 255S Music. Also, there are a few software features that are basically a result kind of the newer sensor, such as the health snapshot. So the health snapshot means you can measure your HRV during the day. So you basically, for 2 minutes, just hold your hand very calm, and then it can measure your HRV as well as your heart rate and so on and so forth. And this is kind of a health snapshot, they call it. In the 6S Pro, this is also possible, but it is only possible with an HR strap. So it is also called differently. It is called HRV stress, I think. This is what it looks like. So not health snapshot, but HRV stress. It measures fewer things, and you would need one of these heart rate straps from Garmin, which cost up to 110 euros or dollars. In total, if you want a watch that has everything Garmin had to offer from 2019 and might have not some of the newest features, but has the card functionality as well as bigger storage, then you might go for the Fenix. Also, a problem I noticed is that this watch here, since it is refurbished, only lasts about 2 days in battery life, which is not that good for a Garmin watch if I have all sensors activated, but not every second of them. So you can decide how often you want to measure your heart rate, for example. I have it now on auto mode, whereas before I had it on 1 second intervals. The 255, on the other hand, showed me 9 days of battery life, I think, whenever I charged it. So I might exchange the battery in here or potentially upgrade to the Fenix 7 at some point in the future. But the reason I didn't now is because I now have basically the best watch from 2019, which is the Fenix 6S Pro. I have a small watch. I have also a watch with a little bit of a bigger display. And despite the fact that I don't have the newer sensor on here, what I do have is basically the card functionality, as well as also a little bit of a feeling that I am more like a pro. Mostly, I think my decision was based, not mostly, but a huge factor in my decision to stay with the 6S Pro was that it just looks a little bit better, actually. The 255 just looks a little bit more childish, teenage-ish, whereas this looks kind of grown up.